Shalom. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone who rule well and taught us his truth. And peace, blessings to you, brothers, that's doing this work in truth and in sincerity. All right, so just some mock coming with a lesson. I'm in transit. Me and the brothers just left the altar. And I just wanted to share a few words, man, and really just talk about, man, it's pursuing the Matthew. Can't remember exactly the chapter. I believe it's 19:20. But Yahweh Shah said, it's not what goeth into a man that defileth him, but what cometh out. All right? You know, what cometh out of a man, meaning the very things that you say are the very things that defile you, okay? You know, because when you go into that account, you know, Christians like to use that scripture and say, oh, well, this is, you know, this is saying we can eat whatever we want, you know? No. Okay, because when you go into that chapter, you go into that account, it was specifically talking about how the Pharisees was trying to condemn the disciples for eating bread with unclean hands. And they said that it was breaking the commandment. And Yahweh Shah said, he went into it and also can rebuke the Pharisees, saying, like, you say this, you know. And then he went on to say, it's not what goeth into a man, but will come out of him that defileth him. And then towards the end, he said, it's eating bread with unclean hand doesn't defile a man. All right. But every idle word that cometh out of your mouth, you shall give account for, all right, in the day of judgment. So we have to walk on eggshells in this truth. You know, we have to walk on eggshells, specifically when dealing with other brothers, okay, dealing with each other. You have to be mindful of your speech because, you know, when we were in the world, you know, there's a lot of things you can say and do that may seem, okay, I'm just being a man, all right? I'm standing my ground. And it sounds good, right, in the world, but when you come into the truth, you have to be renewed, okay? You have to be born again. Yahweh Shah said that when his disciples, who was the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? You know, Yahweh Shah brought forth the little kid, man, and said, this is the greatest in the kingdom, you know. And he said, and it went on to say, you know, except a man be born again as a little child, you know, he won't inherit the kingdom. And that's true, because when you're a man and you go through life and you have experiences, you know, you cultivate a certain level of stature and personality, if you will, right? And you learn how to project yourself, you learn how to defend yourself in ways that may not be beneficial to the spirit, you know. But a little kid, all right, they're humble, all right, they're harmless ultimately, you know. They don't really know how to offend, you know, and if they do, they don't know what they do. And usually they don't, man. Usually little kids are harmless, all right. They're very kind and, you know, just want to be appreciative of many different things. But to kind of tie it back into the point, okay, you have to put off that old man. You can't put old wine, Salaki, you can't put new wine into old bottles. Because yes, we're still in these same bodies, but we have a new spirit, okay? We have a new spirit, or I should say, we have a new truth, right? We have a new way of life. And you can't apply that way of life in the same spirit and manner that you were once when you were in the world. Because that man that you were in the world is not, or it doesn't mix with the man you strive to be. The man you strive to be is a man of understanding, a man of wisdom, you know, a man of knowledge, experience, you know, a man that knows how to handle himself based upon the scriptures. Because that's how we ought to move. We have to move based upon the scriptures. Now, it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of time to cultivate what it really means to move and handle things in the scriptures. All right, you have to, one, be in the spirit, because if you're not in the spirit and you get into a situation, you're going to notice that you handle that situation based on how you were if you were in the world, if you were that old man. But if you are in the spirit, when you go through experiences, you're going to constantly think about, okay, how would I handle this? How should I handle this? What would the scriptures do? You know, what did the scripture say about handling a situation like this? Okay, let's do, for example, let's say if there's a brother, and a brother doing something wrong, man. He's doing something off. But instead of you going to that brother, you decide to go and talk to another brother and basically put him on front. Hey, look at this man, look what he did. He going off. He this, he's that. But you never once checked that man that's supposedly your brother. All right? Whereas you would have just checked him, you know, you would have realized, oh shit, brother slipped, and you would have got him right back on track. And you would have then what? You would have won your brother, man. That's not the way to handle it. The way to handle it is, well, slacking. That is the way to handle it. The way to handle it is to go forth, all right, your brother, and then correct him on his wrongs. And if he doesn't receive you, then you take forth and you grab a witness or two and bring it forth him. Like, hey, listen, you know, that's the way it's to be done, all right? Amongst many other different examples that I can bring forth, you know. If a brother offends you, you know, instead of just saying, fuck that nigga, you know, I'm done, fuck that nigga. You know, that's what we did when we was in the world. Or try to knuckle him. Or if a brother talks shit about you, or a brother do something that offends you, you offend him right back. You know, that's the shit that you would do in the world. And even in the world, man, that shit is soft, man. That's feminine. That's a feminine thing to do, because that's what women do, right? Women will get smart with each other and just clap back, whereas men, we dialogue, man. We talk. Oh, brother, hey, what you just said right there was disrespectful, and I don't appreciate that. Yeah. Next thing you know, you talk to the man, and then the man, hey, you know what? I didn't mean it to come off in that way. What I meant was boom, boom, whoop de whoop, yada, yada, yada. And the next thing you know, y'all come to a mutual understanding, and the brother apologizing. You know what I mean? Y'all come to a mutual understanding, and now you done probably gained a friend, right? Because what did it say? The scripture is, you know, besides the point, but a friend is not known in prosperity, all right? And the enemy is known in adversity. So, you know, these are just, the point is, in this truth, the very things that you say can trump the things that you do. You know, when you're talking about judgment, because let's talk about 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, okay? And it says, you know, I have the spirit of prophecy, I do the work, I prophesy, I do this, I do that. I know all the dark secrets and sayings and yada yada, right? But if you have no charity, if you treat your neighbors like shit, if you are a respected person, right? Meaning you tend to favor brothers because of their stature, right? Their status. Maybe you might have a better relationship with this brother, so you favor him over another brother in a certain situation, you know, amongst many other things. You know, those are the very things which defile a man. Because now you're not being a righteous judge. You're not being fair, and you're not being honorable, man. Whereas the Most High is fair, right? The Most High said, hey, you reap what you sow. If you reap wickedness, you're going to sow of wickedness. I mean, so like if you sow to wickedness, you're going to reap of that wickedness. If you sow to righteousness, you're going to reap of righteousness, all right? And we already know that righteousness breeds life and wickedness breeds death. So the Most High is fair, man. He's fair and he's righteous. But we as people, we tend to be, you know, we strive to be like the Most High, right? We strive to be perfect, and we strive to be gods, man. And we talk about being judges and rulers, but you know, we have to emulate that here on this side first. You have to emulate what it means to be a judge, and you can't be a judge if you're not fair. There is an account in the book of Ruth or Judith, one of I can't remember. It's one of the females and one of the women, and basically she had to go before a judge, if you will. And I believe that the Most High put the spirit on a young man to say, now we need new judges because these judges are biased in this manner. So the Most High was like, okay, we're going to get two judges that are not biased in the situation so we can have a fair and honest trial. And that's how a judge is to be. So we're going to be judges. We have to be honest. We have to be honorable. You know, we can't be respectful of persons. All right? And we can't just, you know, say whatever we want. You know, because we're going to have to be accounted for the very things that we say. So being mindful of your tongue is very important in the truth. Even when dealing with people in the world, man. Specifically when doing the work. All right, when doing the work, you are a representative of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You are a spokesperson for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So if you, and when dealing with your own people, primarily, when it comes to the heathen, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if they're respectful, you should be respectful. And even if they're not being respectful, as a man, you should know how to de-escalate a situation, right? Because the scriptures say what? Let's tie it back to the scripture. How would the scripture say? All right, soft answer, turn away wrath. You know, if all possible, do good unto all men. You know, and doing good doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out your way, but just giving respect is doing good unto all. Is doing good. All right, not rendering evil for evil is doing good. Okay, just because somebody is clapping at you, you know, with the tongue, don't mean you got to clap back with the tongue. All right. Somebody getting loud and reckless with you, does that mean you have to get loud and reckless? You're no better than them, you know? You're no better than them. Esau like to do that in movies when it comes to like revenge and stuff like that, but you know, that's different. But when it comes to how you move, how you handle a situation, hey, that says a lot. It shows a lot of your character, man. If somebody's getting loud and arrogant with you, but you hitting them with knowledge, you hitting them with mellow tones, and you hitting them with de-escalation word, brother. Hold on, brother, but I'm not your enemy. Yeah, hey, well, brother, but why do you look at it like that, though, brother? Next thing you know, it 3 minutes into the conversation, you took a man's spirit from here down to here, man. And you might have just de-escalated something that was going to get serious, man. Or you might have just potentially planted a seed, man. So it's all about perspective. It's all about patience, you know, and it's all about applying the scriptures, all right? Because like I said, the very things that you say are the very things that can defile you and make you in danger of the judgment, man. So just as much as we have to watch the things we do, we have to watch the things we say. Very important, all right? You have to have the balance of the two, all right? You can't think just because you're in this truth that you can get away with saying whatever you want, all right? You can't use the scripture, rude in speech, as an example to be ignorant, all right? Or as an excuse to be what they call not ignorant, but ignorant, all right? As an excuse to be a nigga or to talk like a nigga, you know? You know, it's just that simple, all right? So, hey, remember that, you know, very words you say could be the very words that condemn you. So always be mindful of the things you say just as much as we're mindful of the things we do. So, Lord willing, may have edified you through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Till next time, shalom.